Hey, what's up, guys? Today I have a couple different interviews, two interviews that I'm doing surrounding the release of the Deathbed music video. I'm going to be interviewing Tom Martino, but first I have Kyle Trogus. Is that how you say your last name, Trogus?
Yeah, actually it is.
Okay, Kyle Trogus. He's got his own kind of podcast that he does, Kyle Driver. I'll leave his YouTube link in the description. And me and Kyle have actually met before.
Yeah.
It was it's so weird because it was before I really got to know a lot of people. So it was kind of a chance encounter, I guess, at the Forever Dead and Dirty tour at Alrosa Villa. It was what AXE and Blaze and Boondocks. There were a whole bunch of people at that show. It's kind of crazy now because it was like Charlie Sunday, Dan Galvin, Scott Vance. All those people were all there that time.
That was my second time meeting Charlie. I met him the first time at Axe's Family.
Yeah, because it was the same venue, right? Alrosa Villa.
Yeah, he was wearing the Lee Mustard shirt the first time. That was fresh, and then we just talked most of the time. My buddy Scout was at that show that you and I were at too.
Scott.
Scout.
Okay. Okay.
I know him through like Mask Community and Zul's shit.
Okay. But yeah, so we're here because Kyle was Tom Martino's assistant during the Deathbed video. Actually, Tom hit me up to do this interview because he was very interested in Kyle's experience. But I guess before I get into that, I'm like really interested in how like you and Tom have a very interesting relationship.
Yeah.
That I've noticed. I know it's your angelic voice at the end of some of the podcasts singing. So how did like that connection happen?
So if you ask my wife this question, she would tell you that I'm just the type of person who I force people to be my friend. So like if I like somebody, I will like casually just say, "Hey man, how you doing?" Or "Hey, I like what you're doing there," or "Hey," and like I eventually just organically grow these friendships, like mostly through supporting people like the boys, Tom, other podcasters that I like. Because honestly, like Tom's pretty much my hero as far as podcasts. Because I don't know if you listen to a lot of other podcasts. I know you do one, so I'm sure you probably do. It's like something like what Tom does, where it's sometimes offensive. It's always knowledgeable. It's always funny.
I think it's also always offensive.
Yeah. It's always something different, but it's structured. As to where something like I do, it's just like, yeah, I may pick a pay-per-view to talk about. So at the core, my show is like, okay, pick pay-per-view here, review matches, then talk to my friends about it. But sometimes it's just like, it'll be like a long day, and it's like, all right, I just want to hang out. It's BS. So there's no structure. So, like, I'll tell you, when I did Tom's podcast a couple weeks ago, like, I was not prepared because, like, one, I had mic issues, but two, it was just like, I thought I knew how to run a formatted podcast, but I have no clue what the fuck I am doing. So I respect what he does. And as far as our friendship, I feel like it's just one of those things where you make stupid jokes to each other a bunch of times, and then you eventually have actual conversations. You know what I mean? And then it turns into something. Like, I hope he considers me a friend because I consider Tom a friend.
Yeah, he's also like very accessible, very, very accessible person. And he's always joking with people. And like you said, there is a lot of like, you support what he does, you share what he does. He'll hit you up, ask you about something,
Mm-hmm.
He's and like you said, his podcast is super structured. I also, like you do, kind of go above the seat of my pants.
Right.
Like, well, no matter what I'm doing, it's always kind of like, oh, this and that. I mean, I've been a part of a structured podcast before, but I wasn't the host. I had a friend who was the host. So he would tell me like, okay, he'd instruct me into which part of the podcast we're getting into.
I used to, like at the heyday of my podcast, because like my podcast started out because of the Juggalo crew that I belonged to called the Juggernaut. So like all my friends were like, hey, let's do some things. Like, because this was back when Google Hangouts was still a thing. So we would do Google Hangouts, and obviously Google Hangouts is not the prettiest interface ever. It's pretty simple. So then we moved over to YouTube, and then I started using StreamYard, Streamlabs, OBS, and shit. and making it like a quality product and using Skype. Well, juggalos can tend to be lazy. I don't know if you know that. And they're like, I don't really feel like installing Skype. So then I started using StreamYard. And then yesterday I paid for like the upgrade or whatever. So I'm going to try to do some cool shit with StreamYard and OBS. Because I like how easy StreamYard is. And I like how easy it is to have your friends on without making them use Skype or something. But I've just got to, I want to hold myself to a higher standard. Like I want to have like all my logos and where you can find me and people's comments and shit scrolling down the side and shit. Like
yeah, the StreamYard, I have the upgraded version of StreamYard. It's really nice because like I can pop a logo off here, you know, I can pop a background in if I want. It's really convenient, especially if you have a podcast like we do. But all right, let's we got derailed a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's get into the Deathbed music video. How did you first did you just hit up Tom, be like, hey, can I be your assistant? Did he hit you up? How did that happen?
That's some funny shit because he's like, Tom hit me up assuming Bill had already messaged me. Tom thought that Bill had already asked me to do it. He's like, are you ready or whatever? I'm like, for the video shoot? I'm like, wait, what video shoot? He's like, so like, and then I said, yeah, I mean, I would love to. He explained to me what I had to do. He said, you didn't really need any experience. I just need some hands. And then Bill got back to him and said, yeah, go ahead. And it was honestly pretty organic as far as like, I didn't message him. I had no idea that it was even happening. And Tom was like, hey, you want to come do this? And I said, well, fuck yeah, I want to come do that.
For the record, Bill was probably supposed to message you.
Oh yeah,
He'll probably message you in 3 months, being like, "Hey, you ready for the Deathbed video?" So, what did your duties really entail during that? Because you said he hit you up and said so many different things you had to do. Like,
honestly, it wasn't even really that he said a bunch of things in the messages leading up to it. He just said that I need you to be able to just be flexible and do whatever I need, which never being on a music video set before, Tom's a filmmaker, so he's used to sets. I didn't really know what I was getting into. So, but I knew that I was just going to take in the experience, and anything Tom said I was going to do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, honestly, it was a good experience. Like, I got a lot. I felt like I learned a lot, but I also felt like it was at least a relaxed enough environment to where it wasn't stressful. It still felt like homies making some cool shit together, which to me was one of the better parts about it, just because it's like, who doesn't like making great art with your homies and it not feeling like a chore? You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially like when it's covered in blood and everything else, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, Zool related anyway, you know.
Yeah.
So how long were you? How long was the shoot exactly?
9 hours.
That's actually really insane if you think about it, with the quality of the video and like all the effects that happened in that video.
Yeah.
It only being 9 hours was pretty crazy. Did Tom have like a huge suitcase full of stuff, or like did he bring a lot of his stuff with him? I know he brought that like skeleton with him.
So he had the skeleton, he had the skull that was shot out at the end of the video, he had the buckets of fake blood, and then he had like a specific fake blood in like, it almost looked like ketchup bottles. They were like labeled like 1, 2, 3 or like A, B, and C. One was for Pretzel, one was for Lee, and one was for Bill. They were separate scenes. Like he had so meticulous that he had planned to which fake blood he was going to use in which scene. And then, as far as I know, P is the one who brought the air compressor for Tom so that we could spray all the blood and shit.
Yeah, probably part of the painting supplies that he has.
He brought a chain, which I actually have above my forever faces. I have the chain from the video that P was put in his mouth, and it was taking him into the bed. I spent like, I don't know, maybe an hour zip tying that together because it was flimsy, and then we spray painted it. So I just sitting there zip tying the shit straight because it was bending too much. But
did they like reverse film that? Is that how that was done?
Yeah, I think. I don't know much about shooting, But yeah, I mean, like we shot the scenes, and judging by looking at the video, I think that's how they did it. Yeah. I know we shot the scene with me down there, moving it up and moving it up to him, and then we shot it. I think we shot it going up and then back down.
Mm.
The way that I don't know about movie, like I said, I'm not a filmmaker, so I don't know much about movie tricks, but I just remember the scenes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how did the I guess we haven't mentioned this, but you also were a stunt double on set. How exactly did that happen? Did they you can tell the story of what happened.
So the way the shoot was set up, if I do recall correctly, is he had like, you know, the season of the Zool shit with like the 3 masks that was filmed first. All the parts with all 3 of the boys were done first, and then once we got to the scene for where I'm wearing the mask behind the window, that was actually shot pretty early on. That was not actually shot around the time we shot the rest of Joe's parts, I don't think. He's like, okay, Joe, go back there. And then Joe's like, I don't fit. Because like the set was in the back of the church, and there wasn't much room between the actual set that was built and the back of the church. I don't know if you've ever been back in the storage area in the back.
Yeah. It's pretty mess. It's a mess.
You know how tight it is. So
yeah.
And actually, the funniest part about that is when Joe was messing with me. So I've never put on paint for a Forever Face before. I usually just put mine on and take the picture. I've never done, you know, like the eyes and shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, Joe, how do I do this? He goes, all right, so rub it right there. And then he's like, no, that's not enough. So you need more. So I do more. Starts getting closer and closer to my cheeks. Like, no, I'm not, because I'm not looking in the mirror. I'm just trusting Joe. He's like, no, you need more.
That was your mistake.
That picture that Tom used for the podcast is me looking like a coal miner because Joe was messing with me and had me get paint all over my face. And of course, I left it all day because I was busy. But every time I'd walk past Bill, he'd laugh and say I look like a grave robber and just start dying. Bill was dying for like 2 hours over that shit.
No, that paint is next to impossible to get off because even when you wipe it off, you still got like the eyeliner stuff around your eyelids and stuff. It's I've done it a couple times for different photos that I've taken, and every time I think, man, why did I put like I don't know how the boys do it all the time. Like they almost have to have their skin like permanently stained black from the amount of times they put it on.
Another thing about that scene too is Tom had me set up that light back there that's like reflecting from because the way that scene was shot behind the window, there's a light on a stand and then it's got some settings and shit, and I had to like rotate it and shit, and then every time I would move to get in the scene, I bumped it a couple times, we'd have to reset it again. I was like, what do you want me to do? He's like, just that creepy. Just like look through the window, you know, like be natural, do what you gotta do. And the funny part was I had to laugh when I saw that scene because I wore like the company I work for, the sweatshirt. Like no people that don't work for Contract Lumber wouldn't know that, but I could see the logo in the shot just because I know what I'm looking for, and it made me laugh the first time I saw it.
You know what it reminded me of, and you'll get this reference. It reminded me exactly of when Goldust went to TNA and he played that creeper character. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
and he's looking through the window at the little kid. Like,
oh my God,
this shot is so similar to that shot. That's exactly what I thought of when I saw that.
I mean, I think that fits the vibe. Being creepy through the window.
It definitely does for the video. How many times did stuff go wrong? Because I know like when you're doing those kind of special effects, it takes several shoots sometimes, several shots.
I know one of the things that was difficult was in order, you know, like how when like especially in rap videos, when you're recording the scene, like it helps to have the music behind it, so you're not just mouthing the words to your verse to nothing.
Yeah.
So what we did was we took my phone, pulled up Spotify, and played the song through a Bluetooth speaker, so the boys could hear the verse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, we're in Portsmouth, and I didn't get great reception out there, and like there would be times where like one time it skipped during Joe's verse, and we had to redo the scene. Actually, it was pretty impressive. Joe's verse only took 2 shots, as far as I know. And but I would have to like scrub through They're like, all right, run that back. All right, give me a second. Pause it. Scrub back to the exact second to where I want it to be, so he has a couple of seconds before the verse starts, and then hit play again. I think, like, I don't know that too much of it went wrong. I mean, there was a couple times where we're like, I'm not exactly happy with that. Let's run it again. But I can't think of like any blunders to where it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened.
Yeah, I guess specifically I was thinking about when Bill blew his head off in that scene. It just seemed kind of like a really I guess complicated special effect that
It was.
yeah.
So honestly, it was like it was the head and then like a torso, and as far as I know, it was hollowed out. And I'm pretty sure Bill just had to slip it on. I don't even know if Bill could see through the thing, to be honest with you. There was a lot that went into that effect because not only did you have to get that on top of him, but he had like a tube system that shot the blood out of it, and then you had to shoot that through the compressor. So that was, as far as I'm concerned, a super complicated effect.
Yeah, like I said, I've seen like, behind the scenes when doing different horror movies and stuff, but it always seems like maybe the blood doesn't come out just right, or the action doesn't happen the way that they want it to happen. But it sounds like it went off pretty much first shot.
Some of it, yeah, for sure. I mean, there was a lot of trial and error, I would say, as far as like, oh, let's do that a little bit differently. But I don't, as far as I know, everything seemed to be pretty smooth. Like for that to be accomplished in 9 hours, I would agree with you that seems pretty impressive to me.
Yeah. Like, so, I mean, while you were shooting it, or are you going to add anything there?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well, while you were shooting it, did you have like a clear vision of what the video was going to be like, or were you kind of like, I don't know. Did you know you were filming something that was going to be, Deathbed?
I had not seen the set. I had not heard the script. I had no idea what the video was going to be until it was unfolding. I heard Tom discuss the script a little bit with the camera guys, and that was about it, which is probably the way I would have wanted it. Mm-hmm. It was cool to watch the scenes play out and discuss the way that things were going to be done. If something was going to be like, hey, well, maybe try it this way. It was super interesting for me to go in blind. I don't know if it would have been, I don't want to say it would have been as cool because it was a great experience, but I guess I like the way it played out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when it was all said and done, like at the end of the 9 hours, did you have like because the shoots are all over the place. Did you think it was going to turn out the way it did, or?
Honestly, watching the video, the scenes sort of played out the way I sort of remember filming them. Like, I kind of feel like everything went the way it was intended. I kind of feel like it played out the way I would have expected it to. Like, I had nothing really to compare it to because, like I said, I've never done it. But like, I kind of saw the way they kind of went the way I saw it going. I think that answers your question.
Yeah. In a roundabout way, yeah. Did you were you getting any updates about the video? Like, did you have any like inclination that it was gonna debut on Not Fast, or like did they? No.
I just no. I mean, that was all between Tom and Bill. I didn't even like see like they didn't even like show it to me or anything like after we filmed it before it was all edited. Like we didn't really play any of the scenes back or anything. So I got to see it for the first time, like everybody else did.
Yeah. Because I know there were like select people who saw the video early. I know Fams for one saw it. So I thought since maybe you were involved with it, you would have gotten maybe a little sneak peek of the video before it came out.
No, but it was cool. I mean, I enjoyed seeing it when everybody else did. It was a fun release. Like, it's definitely probably my proudest achievement, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, I've done some cool shit as far as like meeting up with people or going to shows or doing podcasts. Like, for me, like having Kid Crusher on my show was a big moment too. But this was just like the coolest thing I think I've ever done.
It definitely turned out like I think a lot crazier than anybody expected. I mean, I think we all knew Tom had that filmmaking ability, but like it just balls to the wall. Absolutely the best Zool video that they've done so far, and like I'm hoping that he definitely films another one in the future. I think Rigor Rectus would fit his. I think Rigor Rectus would fit his personality and sense of humor very well.
I would like to see if I had to pick one. Like if I was going to be the assistant again and do one, I would like to see Random Acts of Violence get a video.
Yeah, that would be a really good one too.
Especially because of Joe's verse with like the lawnmower with the blade breaking and impaling somebody's head. I was picturing what Tom could do with that.
Yes.
In the country club thing, you know what I mean? Like riding out a golf course and have Bill pretend to shoot people at a golf course.
That would be really insane. I would also like to see Tom do something off of Necronomicon too. Like get a little shack, you know, and just do kind of like a, I don't know what,
an homage to like Evil Dead, the first.
Yeah. That
would be cool.
He could definitely kill it. Well, I guess this will be a completely different kind of question, but I'm curious. How did you find Zool? Like, where was it that you heard about AXE?
My friend David Talley told me to go check them out at the Gathering, and he wanted me to get him the Forever Face single if I came across it. So either Dilly or Jared or somebody in a Zool mask at the time came up to me at the Gathering and said, "Hey, here you go," and handed me one of the samplers. So I'm like, all right, cool, I got it. So I sent it to him. He's like, "Dude, you have to go see them. You have to." I'm like, "I've been telling you about them. You got to go." So I'm like, okay, cool. So I watch ICP. I go watch my buddy perform on the third stage. And then I go watch MMMFD for a little bit. And then it was either Zola before MMMFD or after. I can't remember. Do you remember when? Do you remember who was first?
No, I don't know.
I remember I went over to go see them, and I think they were right after ICP, so it was ICP then Zool. So I go over, and this is before the set starts. There's people all in Zool masks, all in work shirts. You know how the crew rolls around.
Yeah.
All the Zooligans roll around, and I start asking people questions like about them. I'm like, everybody's being all weird and secretive and keeping up with the kayfabe and shit. I legit thought it was a cult. I'm like, what is going on here? And there was an ominous feeling before that set, not knowing what to expect. And I got to tell you, they have the best energy and stage presence I've ever seen. Like, I fell in love with that shit. Like, I went and listened to that single a bunch of times and was blown away. And then I went back and listened to the old shit. And those first two records were incredible as well. Like, honestly, it happened pretty organically. Somebody told me about them, and I experienced it for myself.
Yeah, so you were at the show. I guess since you were there, did you hear the rumblings about the MNE signing?
Actually, that's kind of funny. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I think a certain person who's not with the crew anymore. I asked them about it, and they were like, he's like, I said, are they signed to MNE? And he could have just said no, and I would have left him alone. But he's like, I'm not at liberty to speak about that. Like, okay, so that's an obvious no.
Yeah, that's
so that's an obvious yes.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not what you're supposed to say to that question, sir.
You're just supposed to say no, flatly denied. No wonder a word was getting around. He's probably like, oh, can't say.
Yeah.
All right, well, Kyle, thanks for coming on. Was there anything else you wanted to mention about the shoot at all?
No, just thank you to Tom and the boys for the opportunity. I finally got a chance to actually sit down and have some conversation with the boys, and that was the first time Tom and I had ever met in person. Like I said, dude, as far as podcasting, Tom's my fucking hero. That is my favorite podcast, and I was just happy for the opportunity, and I look forward to hearing what Tom says about it. All I know is my favorite part about the day was anytime we'd be in the room shooting or getting ready to shoot a scene, and I'd hear Tom go, "Where the fuck is Kyle?" And I'd be like, "Right here, Tom, right here." And he'd go, "Oh, okay, let's do this."
Sounds exactly like Tom.
It does.
All right, so like, anything you want to plug?
My podcast is called the Kyle Driver Power Hour here on YouTube. It's mostly just wrestling and juggalo shit. I think this next podcast me and one of my homies, possibly CPN, I'm not sure, are going to do WrestleMania when Undertaker threw Mankind off Hell in a Cell. I think that's going to be the next pay-per-view we talk about, just because he references it all the time. I typically pick like random shit like SummerSlams and like Hell in a Cells, and like I like to do random pay-per-views that most people don't think of, just because I don't want to be predictable. And like a lot of time, I want to pick some obscure shit that someone's like, oh yeah, I do remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the podcast. That's the format. And if anybody wants to check that out, it's here on YouTube. It's a video podcast.
Yep, I'll put a link in the description to Kyle's channel. Like I said, I want to thank him for coming on.
Yeah.
And so right after this, for you guys, it'll be immediately. I will be interviewing Tom Martino about the Deathbed video.
Alrighty, thank you for having me, and thanks to Tom and the boys for the opportunity. It was good talking to you, Luke.
All right, and now I'm here with Tom Martino to talk about the Deathbed music video that just came out. How are you feeling today, Tom?
My nose itches, but other than that, my fucking back hurts. But listen to the podcast.
You're turning into like Joe Black here, like physical ailments after physical ailments.
Yeah, it is what it is. I was trying to change the oil on my car yesterday. It was the first time I did it on the new vehicle. And I guess the person who had it before me, they just stripped the fuck out of the head of the drain plug. So just trying to get a wrench around that motherfucker and leverage, I'm just like pushing rocks into my fucking back and shit. Yeah. Long story short, I went and had someone do it today because I was unsuccessful.
Well, that's what I do. It's easy. You just pull up the Valvoline. Boom, it's done. Don't got to get your hands dirty.
Yeah, I get you, but I mean, I got the space and the tools, and I'm a man, so.
All right, you got me there. All right, so let's get into the Deathbed video. Were you approached by Bill to do it, or how did like the initial happen?
So I was just like, hey man, if you ever need any effects for a video, just let me know, because I mean, I could do that too. Just, letting him know all the shit that I could fucking do. He was like, oh yeah, what do you have in mind? In my head, I was just like, fucking nothing. I was just letting you know if anything ever pops into your head, let me know, because I got you. And then I guess it's just, he's like, well, yeah, think of a song. And then that spiraled in, we'll think of something, come up with something. I was like, all right, well, let me write it. And then I was like, well, if I'm writing this, who's gonna direct this thing? It's like, you want me to direct too? He's just like, oh yeah, I don't care, but I mean, it's a collaborative thing, I was like, no, I got you, but there has to be somebody with a vision, One guy that has to come down. He's like, yeah, fuck it. If you want a title, there you go. And then we got on set, and he didn't tell me shit. He just let me do my fucking thing, and fucking Brian Foster, a lot of credit should go to him too, because I mean, he shot it and edited the motherfucker. Excuse me. There was just a couple any edit you get, no matter how good, there's going to be a couple things you want changed, just because you want it to be what you want. But other than that, yeah, it was fucking great. Todd, what did you think?
No, it's you killed it. Like I'm hoping that they tap you again to do videos again in the future. Like in my last interview, you did mention that you were like working on the script. It was still top secret at that point. But yeah, you really so Bill let you pick the song.
Yeah, there was like a few, and then he said, "Hey, all right, this one." So all right, and went from there.
Did you pick that one?
Don't ask me what the other ones were. I don't remember.
Did you pick that one because you like wanted to use a lot of blood and you knew Deathbed would be able to do it, or what was your selection?
No, I just liked the song.
Oh, okay. So you just picked the favorite song and just went with it. You didn't think about the visuals first.
Yeah, they already had Mask Made Me Do It going, because otherwise, of course, that would have been the one. But they were already working on that one, so then Deathbed was the runner-up, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was a few. I think Rituals of Rot. That's the zombie one, right?
Yeah, that one would be. They should definitely tap you for that one. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I had an idea for that. I don't think we're going to do it. I think we're moving forward. It's probably not what you expected. My idea was like along the lines of Michael Jackson's Thriller, but instead of just like goofy looking zombies, they're like gory zombies and shit dancing. Like their shit falling out when they danced and shit.
Falling off and shit. Yeah.
It's like we don't like Bill. He raps about, oh, I'm on a fucking freeway and all these we don't have the money for that. So you got to okay, what would be something cool to look at? I just don't want to have, okay, let's go to an abandoned fucking, I don't know, factory, and you guys could just bop around and sing your song. You know,
I noticed you also had a bunch of different masks in this video. You had obviously the forever faces that you touched up. You made them like burnt and melted and like, well, did you have something in mind for those when you did those, or like?
Yeah, I mean, Mausoleum, it's about them being fucking burned down. Like that's how the thing starts, the album. That's what it's called, you fucking idiot. So that's how the album starts. So I'm just like, yeah, why? This is a song from that album. Why wouldn't they have burnt melt faces? So.
Yeah, works perfect. So then you also had the Season of the Zool masks, which was that your idea, or was that something that Bill wanted you to make and just happened to make it into the video?
No, that was something I wanted to put in there because it's a happy, happy Halloween. You go right away in my deathbed. You can still bob your head back and forth to both of them. It's like the same beat. So it's just like, yeah, it fits. Fuck it.
So was that the point? Was it kind of like a Halloween 3, like the people on the screen made the guy in the deathbed die? Is that like, what was that? Was that the?
Yeah, technically, there was a thing that got cut out. There was going to be like, it was going to pan to a tag on the bed, and it was going to be like an LLE logo with like a green tag with a silver thing. I mean, that would just be kind of fucking cheese dick, and we didn't really need all that. And then showing that however many seconds that would take away from, however many seconds somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you want to see fucking blood shooting out of Billy's head, or do you want to look at a tag?
Like, we'll take the blood, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory because, I mean, he's wearing the mask. Fuck it. It was just trying to get a bunch of horror homages in there. We were going to have a Phantasm homage, like when they did their verses. They were just going to be in a white room, and then we'd have those chrome pillars behind them, and then a couple balls flying around. Couldn't find a fucking white room. So we said, you know what? We already got the set. Let's just use the fucking set.
You could have had Kyle dressed up as one of those little dwarves running around.
He already looks like one, so that'd be good.
So the other mask that I noticed that you have on your website right now, dwnproductions.net, was the what do you call it? The melt, I think it is, or what do you
once
call
it's
it?
on there, I don't know.
The drip is what you call it.
Oh, Lee's thing, yeah.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite part of the whole video because it's like a street trash. I think that's what you're referencing.
Yeah.
Street trash melting, and he's had his forever face on, but it's like, was that a separate mask as well? Because it looked okay, yeah.
And he had a few different ones.
Yeah, it like melts down, and then he's wearing the drip mask underneath it, and it's like covered in slime and guts and stuff.
Yeah.
So was that just for the street trash, or was that a little bit of DWN Productions promo in there as well?
Bill wanted a street trash homage.
So
I'm just like, yeah, I like street trash. Let's do it. That's cool.
Okay.
Then I was gonna sculpt like a makeup for Lee, but then I was, well, I got this fucking mask here, and that's probably more visually cool to look at than like a smaller appliance. Just so we went with the mask.
How did you do that effect? Was it like, I don't know, it was interesting.
That wasn't shit. That was just a guy in a fucking mask pulling off another mask.
Well, I mean, like what I'm talking about is like the melting effect that you did. Was that just like did it just come that way?
A handful of fucking super slime. You know, like when you see Alien or like some creature movie when they and then they got all that slime that's like sticking to their teeth and shit.
Yeah,
it's just that dyed red.
Nice. It came off really good on camera.
That's what it does. It just sticks to shit. So if contact on both surfaces, it'll just like if you've ever seen that effect before, that's all it is.
Was that in one take?
No, dude, we did a bunch. There was a lot. Like there's a lot you don't see. Least shot probably. I think it's 2.5 liter fire extinguisher I have, and I mean that was filled up, and we used it all. So, I mean, there's a lot of him just going and just blood's just shooting out because at the top of the mask, I ran a tube that was like hidden under the mask and then poked out on the forehead. So this was just spraying fucking blood all over the place. Dope. But, I mean, you don't need a whole lot. We were just use the best whatever the fuck.
Yeah, so, I mean, was that the most complicated shot or was it the Billy Obey shot?
No, everything was pretty easy. Surprisingly, it was a pretty easy shoot, man.
Get a little cocky there, are you?
No, I mean, I told Rick, I told everybody, I was just like, watch out, that shit's gonna go wrong. You'll see. Shit's gonna go wrong. I really didn't. So, fucking, we got lucky, for real.
Yeah. Yeah, Kyle told me it was only a 9-hour shoot.
Yeah, but I mean, fucking me, Brian's buddy Nesto, and P for the first half, and then he got tuckered out, man, because he had to pull himself up this little ramp we built. He here's the edge of the bed. This is video, so they can see this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we had a board coming down like that. So he was straddling the board backwards with his head at the top of the bed, holding this chain in his mouth to look like he was pulling in and like fucking crab walking his ass up the fucking incline. He had to do that for maybe 20 minutes and then got inside the bed, and then he was covered with like 2 gallons of blood. So after that, he was done, which I don't fucking blame him. That was a lot of work, but
yeah,
you could just tell if you asked him for something else, he was going to punch you in the dick. So I didn't want to.
So the bill effect, I was talking to Kyle about the bill effect, and how did you pull that one off?
It's just like first Friday the 13th, you have a dummy with whatever part you're getting chopped up, and you just hold him up, and yeah. I mean, it's nothing new. I guess it's new to fucking music videos these days, but
yeah,
this is all 1980s technology.
Yeah, that's what kind of what it reminded me of. It reminded me of like the old school, like low budget horror films, like kind of like the stuff.
Which is weird that it got a fucking age claim or whatever on YouTube. Because it's obviously not graphic. It's this shit, goddamn. It's not fuck me.
Yeah, it's that over the top, like Dead Alive, street trash, like you meant, like we mentioned earlier, like Gonzo, I guess, in your face stuff.
For sure. So I guess that's what they have to do. They're a corporation. Way above my pay grade, but I don't know. I thought that was kind of whack.
That's true.
I like how they're playing it, though. Oh, go see the video that you have to log in 3 times for to witness.
Yeah, they really YouTube gets really restrictive on that kind of stuff. You can't post it anywhere without them having to go to YouTube to watch it. It's crazy, but then again, like it's good for the video, It's like, it's a taboo. We have to see it, Oh,
and I'll put that shit on DVD, VHS.
Yep.
Now go to a pawn shop and buy a player.
VHS copy of Deathbed would be very, very cool with like a clam.
Buy them all.
With like a clamshell,
brick wall. Oh, you guys wanted this, didn't you?
Yeah.
I spent thousands of dollars so no one else could have them, just so I can destroy them. But that is a very good idea.
That is a very good idea. I like it. Limited edition VHS copies.
Oh yeah, they'll be bootleg as shit. So it'll just be Rick up at the fucking studio just with 2 VCRs.
We're double recording them and shit.
Oh yeah, stickers falling off. It'll be great.
So when you did the original, I'm assuming you did a storyboard for it, correct?
No, I only did one, and that's going in the mail tomorrow.
Okay, so
Uh,
when you like wrote it and you envisioned it, and now in its final form, is it about what you thought it would be, or?
no, because the day before we shot, I wrote the Phantasm stuff out.
Mhm.
So, no, on that end. And then, the dude in the script, like I wrote him as Slob. I didn't write him as Zooligan. Because, I mean, you've seen the fucking room. It's like, it's shit.
Yeah,
It's
with
like complete and utter filth.
the piss jug.
Yeah, it was nice, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to me for that. But yeah, I was just like, man, I don't want a Zooligan to be like, I'm not bullshitting you or anything. Like I told this to Bill, he's like, no, don't worry about it. I'm just like, man, I don't want people to think this is what Zooligans are, and this is a representation of them. He's just like, no, don't worry about it. I was like, well, I mean, I'd rather it just be a big fat guy and we don't fucking, He's like, no, don't worry about it. It's going to be a Zooligan. I said, okay. So that was a battle I lost. But yeah, if I had my way, it would be like a big, just, your stereotypical big fat guy in a wife beater and boxers.
Yeah. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. But, that's what the boss wanted. So that's what the boss got.
That's what Billy Buffet wanted. So, okay, we got the movie references. We had what? Halloween 3, Street Trash. What other references did you manage to squeeze in?
Hellraiser, that was for the chain.
Okay.
And then obviously Deathbed, the bed that eats people.
Yeah.
Man, I'm trying to remember. Joe didn't really have shit. Like we were trying to get the fucking cat to like eat at the brain part and shit. Like we had like ground beef that we were just ripping off, and that cat didn't want to do shit. If it was a dog would have done anything we wanted. If he would have wrote, and my fucking awesome dogs tried to eat me, but they didn't, because dogs are awesome. They actually revived me and I'm alive now. But no, it was a cat and ate him.
You could have put a little bit of, maybe a little bit of catnip would have done the trick.
Hey man, I'm not a cat guy. That was all Joe and his girl. So, I was just like, you guys handle the cat. If that was a dog, I'd be like, oh, come here, you little motherfucker. But it wasn't. It was a cat. So I was just like, you guys, you could do that.
There you go.
Sorry, cat people. Dogs for life.
Sorry. So, okay, you had Hellraiser. Was that all the movie references right there?
I don't know. There was probably a lot. Any one you want there to be, it was there just to make you
look happy. For it. You'll find. Look for it. You'll find it. I
Robert
really like
Englund showed up. We paid him $5 million.
I like the Kyle was telling me about his stunt double presence in the film, where there's it's supposed to be, I think, Joe looking through the window at the deathbed.
Oh, there's another reference. Yeah, that was supposed to be like Raoul from Creepshow, when he's in the window when the fucking Stephen King's kids reading the comic and shit, and he's just kind of like, ooh.
Yeah. I always like that scene.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what Kyle
in there and stuff. Yeah.
I know he wants to pretend he's a fucking member of AXE, but he was supposed to be the guy from Creepshow.
Well, now he's forever immortalized as Joe Black now. So you kind of inadvertently made him a stunt double for AXE. You
want to know why he was chosen?
Because Joe was too big to fit back there.
We all were. He was the only one that could fit back there. And Mr. P already did more than he needed to for the day. So wasn't going to say, hey, fuck back now.
Yeah, so I guess how many notes did you have to go back and forth with the final edit? Was there a lot of going back and forth, or?
Not much, just a couple. I mean, it was pretty good what he had. There was just a couple things which I'm not going to say because he's a wonderful cinematographer and editor, and you don't need to know what I had him change. But yeah, I mean, it was, for the most part, it was just like a couple effects things that, like if you were an effects person and you didn't build everything, then you wouldn't know how it's supposed to be. Just like little things like that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're kind of like I guess a Tom Savini or Greg Nicotero director, where like you know exactly how you want to shoot the special effects.
Yeah. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, you design them, you know how you designed them to be shot and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't really we didn't talk at all before we showed up or before they showed up. Like, definitely in the future, that's something I'd like to change. Yeah, I'm not sure when he hired him, but I think it was like a final hour thing. And then P was chosen to be the guy that day.
There you go.
So, I mean, it is what it is. I've been planning shit for months. Then I saw, hey, P, you want to be the guy? Well, I guess. I don't even think he knew. But fuck it. If people like it, fucking great.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, it's it's like really crazy you were able to pull that off in just 9 hours. Like,
well, I mean, dude, I had a shot list. Brian knew what he was doing. I was planning this for a while. Like I was telling Bill, he was just, how soon can we do this? I was like, no, let's do it here, which was a couple months from then. It's like, I can get everything in order. We could think things out and shit. And I mean, I think it worked out. It's a not your typical music video, but I mean, like I said, everything now is just someone and their buddies just fucking bopping around a location. I mean, just spend a couple bucks. You don't have to go broke doing it. Just build something and use it. Or if you have something that's cool, use it. I don't know. It's just
so what you're saying is preparation is key, really.
Yeah, don't say, hey, we got a car. I'm going to fucking lean up against a car. Well, shit, man. Blow the car up or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know, it turned out like really killer. I mean, I'm sure you've seen all the feedback from everybody. It's absolutely insane video that was able to come out.
I mean, I'm glad people like it. It turned out good, I think. I'm proud of it, and I appreciate Bill letting me do that for sure. I mean, he fucking he spent some money on it, but you know, it was cool that he's just like, hey, I trust this fat-titted prick that he's not going to lose me all this money. Which, I mean, I hope he can get money back from it. I don't know in this day and age how you recoup money from a music video. I think it's more a promotional thing.
Yeah, especially nowadays, yeah. How much of your experience with your movies did you apply towards the music video?
I mean, I guess everything, and then you learn more. It's like every time you do it, you learn something and you bring what you know. And so, I mean, I've been fucking 15 years I've been doing that shit. So, I mean, for people who never talked to each other before that day, it was really just the crew was fucking me, Kyle, Brian, Nesto, and sometimes Rick. And then, I mean, P and the guys, they were pretty much treated as talent. P did some shit for sure. But, yeah, for like a 4-man crew, really, who never talked to each other before that day. I mean, that's what we got, you fuck.
So, all right, if you could pick any song from AXE to direct, what song would you pick? As like your next video. You could any album, Head of Horns, Psycho Volume 1, any of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say Mask made me do it because I already have a video, but I mean, if that was my first choice, it'd probably be that one.
Yeah, fuck it. What would you do?
Off the spot, I guess it would be like a murder spree, a guy wearing the mask, kind of Goosebumps-ish, but you know, it'd be like just a murder spree, I guess. Like the shit they're talking about in the fucking things. And then when fucking Bill sings about me, it'll be like a splice cut of my dick and people, what was that?
No, I can actually see it now. Somebody orders a Forever Face on Long Live Evil. It shows up. They open the box. They check it out. They put it on. And boom, it cuts to the killing spree.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just simple concepts.
Yeah.
It's just what you do with that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so Bill, I know you're watching this.
It's like, fuck you, we already got it. Onwards and upwards.
This will be better.
No, this is
We
good.
could do a double clamshell VHS copy, one with Deathbed, one with That's What We Do It.
Yeah, I thought the Mask Made Me Do It video was cool, but I guess I overthought it. I was just, hey, Bill, I like that video. It was like, back in the 90s when they were saying video games were fucking like the cause of people fucking doing all this violence and shit, and you did it to video games. That was cool. Oh, that wasn't really what we were going for, but all right. So I just overthink shit, I guess.
You were reading into it, man. Well, it's like you said, people can read into it, pick all the horror references they want in Deathbed.
I think this one has a story to it. If you want to pick up on it, I don't care. I think it's pretty blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
Don't be a fucking slob.
And don't leave a piss jug by your bed, or that's what's going to happen to you.
Hey, come on. Sometimes it's late at night and you got to fucking piss. Just empty it out from time to time, or at least put it into garbage. Shit, have some fucking class.
All right, well, Tom, thanks for coming on, man. It's always fun talking to you. If you want to see more from Tom, check out Fisted. I think you're selling it on dwnproductions.net, right?
Yeah, you can get that. Fisted comes with cheese balls. My second move. Shut up, phone, you fuck. It comes with my second movie, Cheese Balls. So you can get that. Race War the remake is out of print. If you could find it, I definitely would, because it's funny. It's probably the most movie of all the three. So check that out. If you like it's Rudy Ray Moore meets like Bad Taste. So if that seems up your alley, check out Race War the remake. It's fucking awesome. And out of the three, that's the one I'd suggest getting. But I got a fuckload of Fisted DVDs, so go get those. And yeah, just again, thanks fucking Bill, Mr. Lee, pardon me, Joe, fucking Rick. Everyone was cool. Thanks for letting me do that. It was fucking awesome. I appreciate it for sure. And everything you guys did for me, and everything you guys, the Zooligans, do for me. Because as I say every time, I greatly do appreciate that shit. And just for having me, hey, thanks, guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on behalf of all the Zooligans, thank you for, giving birth to the Forever Face.
Yeah, thanks for the Happy Mother's Day, by the way, you fucking prick.
You're welcome. I gave it to you because Bill wouldn't.
No, you didn't. Don't pretend like you did.
I stuck up for you, damn it.
I walk alone.
But yeah, boygob.com to check out Tom's podcast. Whenever Favorite Faces go live, that's sporadically, but that's longliveevil.com. Once again, dwnproductions.net. If you want that drip mask that you saw in the Deathbed video. I want to thank Tom again for coming on. Thanks to Kyle, who you saw earlier.
Fuck Kyle.
And go watch the fucking Deathbed video right now. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys again real soon. Hey guys, what's up? Editor Luke here. Hope you enjoyed the interview I had with Tom and Kyle. It's always fun interviewing Tom. He's one of my favorite people to interview. But actually, after I concluded the interview, a couple hours after that, Tom hit me up, and he wanted to make sure that I included a thank you to just a couple more people. Dustin Marks for building the set for the Deathbed video, and Rick Mole. Rick Mole kind of goes without saying. He's kind of the unofficial fourth member of AXE, but I guess he also helped build the set, and I'm sure he was running around the whole time during the video, helping out with different things. So I wanted to make sure I got that in there for Tom, because he wanted to make sure that they got their props for the video. Yeah, so I'll actually leave a link to the Deathbed video. I'm sure you've probably already seen it, but I'll put a link down there anyway. Watch it again. It's a killer video. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys again real soon.